Hi guys, welcome to Little Things. I hear you guys. A lot of people have asked me to do tulip themed crochet in the comment section or in my live stream, so there you go. So this video is a part 1 of the 2-part series for this tutorial. If you want a part 2, click the link here. If you're looking to just get the tulip pouch pattern, there's something really exciting. I'll be attaching a resale right to this pattern. I see so many young girlies saying that they want to start their own crochet business but don't know how or don't have the ability to create a pattern themselves. And I really want to make it easier for people who want to start their own business with crochet. So I've decided that I'm going to allow everyone who purchased my tulip pouch pattern have the legal right to own and to resell it as their own for 100% profit all to themselves. And I did not get anything from your sales. So if you're interested in this pattern, there's few things that you don't want to miss. So first, the tulip pattern comes with the basic resale right. So once you purchase it from me, you gain the legal right to resell it as your own. However, the resale right will not pass on to your customer. The second is that there is a minimum price that you have to sell it for. So you can either set the price for however high you want or the minimum price. And third, once you purchase the pattern from me, you'll receive 2 PDFs. So first one is the normal written pattern, and the second one is the pattern PDF without the cover. So the second PDF, which is the pattern without the cover, it is for the people who want to resell it. You're able to add your own cover, so it'll make it more unique and stand out from other people who also want to resell the pattern. And you can do this on Canva. Number 4, this pattern PDF that you want to resell it cannot be edited in any way. The only way to edit is to just add the cover onto it. So other than that, you cannot modify anything from the pattern or the PDF. So the last thing is that you absolutely do not have to resell it if you don't want to. So the pattern is just like a normal written pattern, and the resale right is just something that is a bonus. So you do not have to do that if you don't want to. It is just that I want to give my young girlies who want to start their own business but needed something to kickstart. So if you're one of them, this is a perfect starting point for you. Everyone has their own audience, community, and their own marketing strategy. So yes, as long as you have a strong brand, people will buy from you. Check out my Instagram highlight for more frequently asked questions. Now you might be thinking, where should I make my website? And this brings me to today's sponsor, which is Universe. Universe is a drag and drop app for creating websites where you can pick your personalized domain and customize your website. My favorite part about Universe is literally how user-friendly it is. I suck at anything when it comes to technology. I'm not even kidding. I literally just use the most basic app for editing my videos. But yet I can still make my Universe website under an hour. There's so many website templates that you can choose from. You can add buttons to redirect people to other links such as your YouTube channel or your Etsy or Ko-Fi. So it's perfect for the link in bio. If you're based in the US, Universe Sell Block and Download Block allows you to start selling your crochet creations in minutes. Another really cool feature is that it has AI assistance, which means you can literally ask AI to build a whole website for you. Universe is free, but you can jump to Universe Pro to remove Universe branding, add your own custom.com domain, add discount codes, lower flat rate 5% transaction fee. Go check out the link in my description box and get started with Universe today. Now let's talk about the materials. I use a 3.5mm hook with 3 different color yarns, so white yarn, green yarn, and pink yarn. I also have a wooden button, but you can absolutely do not use button if you don't want to. Darning needle and sewing needle. The sewing needle is for sewing the button on. And scissors. So that's literally it. So without further ado, let's get right into the tutorial. So first, I'm going to be starting with white yarn, and we're going to be making a slip knot to start off. First, we're going to grab the end of the tail with our right hand, and then for our left hand, I'm pointing up 2 fingers. And then I'm going to grab the yarn with my 2 fingers like this. And then I'm going to twist it. And then creates a loop on my left fingers, and then while still holding the tail on my right hand. Then I'm going to pull this tail on the right through the loop on the left. So I'm just going to grab it with my thumb and my other fingers on my left hand like this, and then I'm going to pull it through. And then just pull all the tails. And that would create a slip knot. So there would be a loop on the top and then a knot in the middle and then a tail at the bottom, and also the working yarn here. So after making a slip knot, we're going to hold onto the knot with our left hand, and then for our right hand, we're gonna pull this tail to make the loop smaller, like this. And then we want to grab our hook and then just stick our hook into this loop here. And then just keep on pulling the tail until it perfectly wraps around our hook. So not too loose or not too tight, just like a tiny gap here when you pull the loop. That will be fine. So this yarn that's attached to the yarn ball is called the working yarn. So with our working yarn, we're going to wrap the working yarn around our 3 fingers on our left hand. So go behind and then under, then on top. So basically just creates a big loop around our 3 fingers. Then we're gonna bring the working yarn behind our index finger. So go behind like this. And then after that, we're going to point like how you're holding like a gun. So like these 2 fingers should be holding onto the working yarn. And then for middle finger and thumb, we're gonna hold onto like the knot here or your piece. And then for our index finger, it's always pointed up. So the way I'm holding the hook is just like how I'm holding a pen. So you can either hold it like a pen or hold it like a knife, like this. And it's up to you. But I personally prefer the pencil gripping method. So now that we know how to hold our tools, then we're gonna start our project. So first we're gonna be chaining 20. So to chain, we're going to start by yarning over. So this is our working yarn, right? So we're going to bring our hook under the working yarn and then on top and over like this. And then you would be wrapping the working yarn around your hook once, basically. After that, we're going to pull it through the loop on our hook. So see this loop right here? We're going to pull it through. So just pull your hook through that loop. And you can see that creates a V. And that is 1 chain. So chaining is just that easy. So let me do it again. So yarn over on our working yarn. So bring our hook behind and then on top the working yarn like this. And then we're going to pull it through the loop on our hook. Now we have 2 V's, which equals to 2 chains. So again, bring our hook to the back and then on top like this. Then grab onto the working yarn like this, then pull it through the loop on your hook. So now we got 3, we got 17 more chains to do. So again, yarn over, bring the hook to the back and then on top. Now we're gonna pull it through the loop on our hook. Like this. As you can see, we have 4 V's. So again, yarn over, bring our hook to the back and then on top of the working yarn like this. And this is called a yarn over. So after that, we're going to pull it through the loop on our hook, which is this loop. Again, yarn over, bring our hook over and on top of the working yarn. After grabbing the working yarn like this, we're going to pull it through the loop on your hook. So it does happen, so no worries. I just would pull a loop bigger like this, then just stick my hook back into it, then pull the working yarn to adjust the size of the loop. So yeah, no worries if your hook just accidentally slip off. Again, yarn over, and then just pull it through the loop on your hook, like this. We're going to repeat this until we have a total of 20 chains. And as you can see, as I'm chaining, my middle finger and thumb always holds onto the chain below it, so like this. And then as I go further, I would hold it like even like higher. So let me just count my chains. So I actually have made 21 chains, so I have 1 extra chain. So If you also have extra chains, don't worry, you can just take out your hook. Then just gently pull the working yarn here. Just pull it slowly, and then that would unravel one chain. So unravel as much as you need to reach 20 chains. So now we have a total of 20 chains. So we're ready to start our round 1. So the way we're gonna be crocheting, this chain is going to be our base. So our stitches is gonna be on top of each chain. So our stitches is going to be double crochet, and as you can see, for double crochet, it is a pretty tall stitch. So the height of the double crochet equals to 2 chains. So now after chaining 20, we're going to chain 2 more to give the height for the double crochet for that round. So actually we need to chain 22 in total, but I just wanted to explain like why 22, so that's why I separated them. So now let's just chain 2 more. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna place our thumb onto the last chain that we did, which is like the chain that's closest to our hook. Then we're gonna go ahead and chain 2. And remember to stick your thumb onto that last chain. So let's just chain 2 more. My first one, and then my second one. So now we're able to do our very first double crochet. So first we're gonna do our double crochet in the 3rd chain from our hook. So the 3rd chain from our hook is exactly where my thumb is placed. That is why I told you guys to hold on to it, but it's okay if you didn't. You can just count. This is the first chain that's closest to our hook. The one below it is the second, and then the 3rd one below it is the 3rd, which is where we're going to be inserting our very first double crochet into. So let's start to place our first double crochet to start round 1. So first we're going to yarn over. So to yarn over is exactly the same as chaining. Bring our hook to the back and then on top and over of the working yarn. Then we're going to insert our hook into the 3rd chain here. So as you can see, the chain is basically a V, and the way you're going to insert your hook into it is basically just stick your hook in the middle of the V, like this. So just insert it like this. And now you're basically going through one loop. So after inserting our hook, we're going to yarn over. So bring the hook behind and then on top again, just like normal. Then we're going to pull it through this loop right here, which is the chain. So we just pull it through that loop. And that would bring up one more loop. So now we have 3 loops on our hook. Now we're going to yarn over and then pull through 2 loops at a time. So yarn over, bring the hook to the back and on top like this. Then we're going to pull through the first 2 loops, which is these 2 loops. Pull through the first one and then pull through the second one like this. Now we're left with 2 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 2. So yarn over, then pull through all 2 loops. Just like this. And this is our very first double crochet. And then to mark that this is the very first stitch, we're going to grab our stitch marker. So we're going to place a stitch marker onto the very top of the stitch. So as you can see here, this is the double crochet here. This is the stitch. Then if you look at it from above, there will be a V on top of the double crochet, and that top V right above the stitch is the V that we're going to be inserting our stitch marker into. So just insert your stitch marker under the V and then just lock. Then place your hook back into the loop and then pull the working yarn to tighten the loop on your hook. And then we're going to continue doing double crochet all across the foundation chain. So let's take a look at the foundation chain. So this chain, you can see there is being stretched out. So that means it's the previous stitch. So the V that's next to it, which is this one, is the following V that we're going to place another double crochet into. So to do a double crochet, yarn over. And then insert our hook into the following V. So basically just insert it right in the middle of the V. And then as you can see, you're just going through one loop. And then after that, we're going to yarn over, bring our hook on top, and then pull it through the loop of the chain. Now we're left with 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and then pull through 2 at a time. So yarn over, and then these 2 loops are the first 2 loops. So we're just going to pull it through the first one and then the second one. And then we're left with 2 loops on our hook. And then we're going to yarn over and then pull it through both loops. So yarn over and just pull it through, just like this. And then for the next one, which is the V right next to it, we're just going to yarn over, insert our hook into the V, and then yarn over, and then pull it through the loop of the chain. Now that would bring up 1 loop. Now we have 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through just the first 2. So yarn over and then the first 2 is here. The first one and the second one. Now we're left with 2 loops on our hook. Yarn over and pull through all 2. Just pull through. Now this is our 3rd double crochet. For our 4th one, again, basically move your finger to the left and you'll be able to see where the next chain is. Yarn over, insert our hook into the next chain. Just insert it right in the center of the V. And you'll be going through 1 loop. Then yarn over, pull it through. Now we have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull it through 2. Now we have 2 loops left on our hook. Yarn over, pull it through all 2 loops. So again, yarn over, insert our hook into the next V. Yarn over, pull it through the loop, and that would bring up an extra loop. So now we have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, and then just pull through the first 2 loops. And now we're left with 2 loops on our hook. Yarn over and then pull through all 2 loops. I'll demonstrate this one more time. So yarn over first, insert your hook into the chain, yarn over again, pull it through. Now that would bring up a loop. Now we have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over and then pull through just the first 2 loops. And then now we're left with 2 loops on our hook. Yarn over and pull it through. So now we're going to repeat this to the rest of the foundation chain, just doing what I showed you in the previous 6 stitches. So if you forget how to do it, no worries, you can just rewatch the part where I demonstrated it. It is exactly the same. So now I'm at my very last chain. As you can see, I have 1 V left. And then for the very last chain, we're going to place 3 double crochet to create like a turning point for our piece, because our ultimate goal is to make our piece work in round. So it's going to connect back into the very first stitch here. So what we're going to do is that we're going to put 3 double crochet here, and that would like transition us to the opposite side, and then we're gonna start working on the base of the foundation chain here, and then we're gonna be starting to work on the base of the foundation chain and then connect it back into the very first stitch. So just like normal, we're gonna place our very first double crochet in the very last stitch. It is just the same thing. So I've placed my very first double crochet in the last stitch. Now I'm going to place 2 more. So do it again in the very last stitch. The very last chain. And then again, going back into the same chain, and then place my 3rd one. after placing 3 double crochet, we're going to turn our piece. So now we're going to start working on the opposite side. Each double crochet at the bottom here is going to have a corresponding double crochet on the top. So now you can just stretch and see that there's the very last chain here. We're going to skip that because we already placed a 3 double crochet here. So you can see there's 3 double crochet coming out of the same chain. We're not going to be inserting our hook into this because it already has 3 double crochet in it. We're going to place the double crochet in the next stitch. So it is this one here. So if you count from the right, it is the 4th double crochet from the right. So now we're going to place the double crochet on this double crochet right here, right on top of it. So you can see there's like a tiny little hole here if you like pull it a little bit and then just insert it there. Now you will have this tail here. Don't worry about the tail, just leave it onto your hook so this tail will hide into our stitch, and that would save time for us since we don't have to hide it at the end of our project. So after inserting, just place a normal double crochet. So yarn over, pull it through. Now that would bring up a loop. Now we have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now we're left with 2 loops on our hook. Yarn over and pull through all 2. Pull through all 2. And then now, since we already made corresponding double crochet on this double crochet, now we're gonna go on to the next stitch, which is here. So yarn over and then insert our hook right on top of the next double crochet, so like here. So you can see like there's like a tiny little gap here. So that is where you insert it. And then place a double crochet. And remember, the tail should be caught on your hook as well. Now let's do it again. Yarn over, insert our hook into the next stitch, which is right on top of the next corresponding double crochet, like here. And then place a double crochet. Yarn over, pull it through. Now we have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull it through 2 loops. Now we have 2 loops left. Yarn over, pull it through the 2 loops. So again, yarn over, insert our hook into the following stitch. Now I'm on my last 2 stitches. This is my second last. And then for the very last stitch here, we're just gonna place 2 double crochet in the last stitch because this is the turning point, just like on the right hand side where we place 3 double crochet in total. On the left hand side, since on the opposite side we already have 1, we're gonna make 2 more on this side. So just place the very first double crochet just like normal. This is my first double crochet. Going back into the same stitch here, you can see like there's like a hole that's stretched out. Just go back into it and then just place another one. So you can see there's 2 double crochet from 1 stitch. And now on this exact stitch, we have 3 double crochet in total, including the opposite side. Now we are almost done with our round 1. So we're just going to connect it back into the very first stitch like this. We're just going to close it up. And now we have like a round shape that we can work on and then build on top and then create depth for our pouch. So as you can see, here is the very first stitch. We're just gonna insert our hook into this stitch. So as you can see here, we need to go under a V. So just go exactly into where the stitch marker is placed. So just go under the V exactly right next to like the stitch marker. It might be a little bit tight here. After inserting our hook, we can took out the stitch marker, and then now we need to do a slip stitch. To do a slip stitch, we're going to yarn over first and then pull it through the stitch, pull it through the V basically, and then with the loop that we brought up on the left, we're going to pull it through the loop on the right. So just pull it through here, and then we're just going to tighten it. This would join to the very first stitch. So we just need to tighten it like this. After this, we're going to start round 2. So for round 2, as the double crochet is pretty tall, we need to chain 2 to give the height to start round. So to chain, we yarn over first. Then we're going to pull it through the loop on our hook, like this. And then again, yarn over, pull it through the loop on our hook, like this. Now you can see there's 2 chains. Now if you look at all your stitches from the top here, you can see there's a bunch of V's, where you can see the double crochet on the side, and then on the top, you can see there's a bunch of V's right on top of the double crochet. So the V's are where we're going to be inserting our stitches. So to place our stitches, we're basically going to go under the V. So go under each V like this. And this is how we're going to place our stitches. So let's place our very first stitch. So this V here, that's right next to the chain 2. So this is going to be our very first stitch. So yarn over first, then insert our hook under the V. So like this. Basically going under the both loops of the V. Then we're going to yarn over, pull it through the stitch. Now we have 3 loops on our hook, just like normal. Yarn over, pull it through the first 2 loops. Now we are left with 2 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull it through both loops. So this is just exactly the same, except we're going to go under the V's when we make the stitches. So after the very first stitch of each round, we're going to place the stitch marker. So grab your stitch marker. Look at your very first stitch from the top. You can see there is a V here. So this V is going to be where we insert our stitch marker into. So just go under the V like this, and then close your stitch marker. And then place your hook back into the loop, pull your working yarn, keep on crocheting. So now let's do our second double crochet. To start, we yarn over first, insert our hook under the V, under the next V, yarn over, pull it through. Now we have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull it through the first 2 loops. Now we're left with 2 loops on our hook. Yarn over and then pull through the rest of the 2 loops. And then again, yarn over, go into the next stitch, which is the next V. Go under it, go under the V, and then yarn over. Pull it through the stitch. Now we have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull it through the first 2 loops. Now we're left with 2 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull it through the rest of the 2 loops. So let's do our fourth one. It's basically the same. Yarn over first, insert our hook into the next stitch. So go under a V like this. Then yarn over, pull it through the stitch. Now we got 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through just the first 2 loops. Then we're left with 2 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull it through the rest of the 2. Now we're just going to repeat the exact same thing all across this round, like including here, just placing 1 stitch at a time. So 1 double crochet on each V. So let me demonstrate it a few more times. Going into the next stitch, go under the V. I'm going to do it a little bit quicker because I believe we already got the hang of it. Going into the next stitch. I'm I'm just gonna keep going, and then that would bring me all around my piece, and then keep crocheting until the end. So now I have just finished my very last stitch, and then now we're going to join to the very first stitch of the round, so that will close and finish this round 2. So again, to join to the very first stitch, we're going to be inserting our hook into the first stitch where the stitch marker is at. So you can see here, we just insert our hook into that like this, and then we can go ahead and remove the stitch marker, and then we just do a slip stitch there. So to do a slip stitch, yarn over, and then pull it through the stitch, and then also pull it through the loop on your hook like this. After this, remember to tighten this. It is very, very important. After tightening it, we're going to be making the leaves for the tulips. Since we're going to do a color change, we're just going to fasten off here. We're just going to cut the yarn. So before cutting the yarn, we're going to chain 1 to secure. So to chain 1, yarn over, pull it through the loop on your hook. After this, pull a big loop like around this much. Then we're going to cut it, and then pull the working yarn. Tighten this tail here. So now, as you can see, there's 2 tails. The one tail is sticking out from the middle of our piece, like the inside of our piece. Since we've already hidden it inside the stitches in round 1, we can just go ahead and cut it. But if you didn't hide it, then you have to weave in. Pull the tail and just cut it there. So for this tail here, I'm just going to grab the darning needle, thread the tail through the darning needle, and then we're just going to hide this tail inside the stitches. It's going to face the inside of the pouch here. So literally just go through like the loops on the inside of the pouch where no one can see. So as you can see, you have to check from the outside if you can see your needle. If you can't, that's fine. If you can see your needle like this, then redo it. Make sure that you cannot see it from the outside. And then after pulling it through, you can cut the tail. Now we're ready to start round 3, which is the leaves. So now grab your hook, your piece, and your green yarn. First, we're going to insert our hook onto the side of our piece. So just pick any stitch. So I'm just gonna pick this one, like, because the stitch is on the side. And remember to go through the V, like this. Now we're going to place the green yarn on top of the hook and just make a loop like this. Just hold it like this, and then just pull it through. After pulling it through, you should have the tail from the green yarn, so you can just yarn over on the tail and then just pull it through the loop on your hook like this. This is just to secure the green yarn, to attach the green yarn onto your piece so it doesn't slip off. Now that the green yarn has attached to our piece, we can go ahead and start doing the stitches. So the stitches that we're gonna do is going to be V, a bunch of V's. There will be stitches that we're gonna be skipping. So now let's do our first V. So first we're gonna insert back into the same stitch where we attached our yarn onto. So go back into the same stitch, and then we're just going to do a yarn over. We're just going to do a yarn over and pull up a loop. So yarn over, pull through. Now this is our loop. Now we can actually start our round 3. So we're gonna be chaining 4 at first. So yarn over, and then pull it through the loop on your hook, like this. And then do it again, yarn over, pull it through the loop on our hook. This is our second time, and as you can see, we have 2 V's, which equals to 2 chains. We're gonna do it 2 more times. So yarn over, pull through. And then again, yarn over, pull through. Now we have 4 chains, which equals to 4 V's. Now we're going to do a double crochet on the exact same stitch. So yarn over, insert our hook right into the same stitch. You can see there's like a big gap here. Insert our hook into that. Then we're gonna place a normal double crochet. So yarn over, pull it through the stitch to bring up a loop. Now we have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now we're left with 2 loops. Yarn over and then pull it through the rest of the 2 loops, just like this. Now this is our first V. Now the chain 2 that we did in the beginning actually counts as a double crochet. Now we're going to skip the next stitch. So this one is the following stitch. We're going to skip it. So go to the next one here. Then we're going to place a double crochet here. So yarn over, insert your hook into the second stitch from the previous one. And then also for the tail here, the green tail, be sure to place it onto our hook. So the yarn tail is caught on our hook and is hidden inside the stitches. After that, we're going to place a normal double crochet. So now we have finished like one side of the V. We're gonna chain 2. So yarn over, pull through the loop on your hook. And then chain another one, yarn over, pull through the loop on your hook. Now we're going to place another double crochet in the exact same stitch. So yarn over, insert our hook into the same stitch here. Remember the tail is caught on our hook. Do another double crochet. Just like this. Now there's another V. Now we're going to repeat this until the end. So we're going to skip the next stitch and then the second stitch from our previous one, that's where we're going to be inserting our first double crochet. So do our double crochet into there. After that, we're going to chain 2. Yarn over, pull it through the loop on your hook. Yarn over, pull it through the loop on your hook. And then we're going to place a double crochet exactly in the same stitch here. So yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch, and then just place a normal double crochet. Just like this. And then again, skip the next stitch. We're going to place the V in the second stitch from the previous one. So place our first double crochet there. Just like this. Then we're going to chain 2. This chain 1, this chain 2. Then we're going to place another double crochet in the exact same stitch. So going back into the same stitch, it's really easy to see because we have the color change. So it's really easy to see where to be inserting, where to insert your hook. So again, skip the next stitch here, insert our hook into the second stitch, place a double crochet. And then after that, chain 2. Yarn over, pull through the loop on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the loop on your hook. Then do a double crochet in the exact same stitch. Like this one. And then basically the cycle continues. You skip one stitch, place double crochet here, chain 2, and then another double crochet in the same stitch. Skip a stitch, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet in the same stitch. Skip a stitch, and it goes on until the end. So nothing has changed. You can refer back to what I did before if you're lost. And it's just exactly the same. So I'm gonna go ahead with my piece.
What the dog doing?
And then after this, I'm done, and then we're just going to join to the very first V, and then we're just going to finish this round off. So to join, we're just going to insert our hook into this base of the V, literally just insert it like this. Then we're going to do a slip stitch just like how we end every round. So we're going to do a yarn over first, then we're going to pull it through this V, and then pull it through the loop on our hook like this. Then we're going to tighten this. After tightening it, we're going to chain 1 to secure. So yarn over, pull it through the loop, and then pull a big loop around there, and then we're just gonna cut it off. Just like this. Then we're going to pull this tail. And we have completed round 3. And now the upcoming round is the most interesting round. We're going to be doing our tulips, which I'm so excited about. First, grab the color of your tulip. I'm gonna use pink. So you can just pick any V on the side, like here. I'm just gonna pick one that's on the back, like this one. And then I'm just going to place the yarn on top of my hook like this. And then pull it through, like this. And then while holding onto the tail as well as the working yarn on my left hand. After this, I'm going to drop the working yarn. I'm going to hold the tail. I'm going to yarn over and then pull it through the loop on my hook to attach the yarn onto our piece. As you can see, there's like a little knot here. Then the yarn has been attached. Then what we're going to do is that we're going to insert our hook into the same space. We're going to yarn over. We're going to pull up a loop. Now this loop is what we're going to be working on. Now we're going to chain 2. So to chain, yarn over, pull it through the loop on your hook. And again, yarn over, pull it through the loop on your hook. Now we have chain 2. So we're going to place 3 double crochet into this space. We can just yarn over, insert it into the V, like the space here, and then place a double crochet. Just like this. After this, we're going to place 2 more into the exact same space. So again, my second one. And then I'm gonna do my 3rd double crochet. And then after this, we're going to do something called a popcorn stitch. And just bear with me, it seems complicated, but I'm going to show it very slowly so you got this. So I'm just going to pull the loop on my hook a little bit bigger, like this. Now I'm just going to go back into the very first stitch, which is here on the far right. And then I'm just going to insert my hook into the V of that stitch. So basically like this. I'm going to go through the loop on my last stitch here. So I'm just gonna stick my hook back into the loop here. Then I'm gonna pull the working yarn so it tightens it, and then pull it through. Pull it through the first stitch like this. Now this is one tulip, and as you can see, the reason why it's called popcorn stitch is because it's all scrunched up like this. It's very like 3D now. It really creates that shape for the tulip, and it also adds more texture to your piece, and I really love that. So after this, we're going to chain 1. So yarn over, then pull it through the loop on your hook, just like this. After that, we're gonna repeat what we've done. Place 3 double crochet into the next V. And then go back into the first stitch, and then slip stitch, and then chain 1. So we're just gonna repeat what we did. So yarn over first, place our very first double crochet in the next V. So I've done 1 double crochet, then I'm gonna place 2 more. My second double crochet, and then my 3rd double crochet. After that, we're going to pull a big loop like this, take out our hook. Then we're going to stick our hook into the very first stitch of these 3 double crochet. So the very first stitch would be this one on the right. So we're just gonna stick our hook into that stitch like this. Then place the loop on the left into our hook. After placing it onto our hook, we're going to pull the working yarn. So pull it tight. Then we're going to pull it through the first stitch like this. After this, we're going to chain 1. So yarn over, pull it through the loop on our hook, just like this. Now we've got 2 tulips, which is really, really cute. So let's keep going. So we're gonna place 3 double crochet into the next one. So yarn over, place our first double crochet, like this, and place 2 more, like this. Now after that, pull a big loop, then insert our hook into the very first stitch, which is here. Go under a V, then stick our hook into the loop on the left, then pull the working yarn, pull it tight, then pull it through the stitch like this. And this is our third tulip. After that, yarn over, pull it through the loop on your hook, just like this. And we're gonna place 3 double crochet in this base. So place our first double crochet, and then our second double crochet, and then our third double crochet. We're going to pull a big loop here, and then we're going to insert our hook into the very first stitch, just like this, and then also into the loop here. Then pull the working yarn tight, and then pull it through the first stitch like this. After this, we're going to chain 1. So yarn over, pull it through the loop on our hook. Then we're going to repeat this. Place 3 double crochet here. This is my first double crochet. Second double crochet, and then the third double crochet. And then pull a big loop like this. Insert our hook into the first stitch, and then insert our hook into the loop, pull it, and then pull it through the stitch. Then chain 1, yarn over, pull it through the loop on your hook. Now just like this, we're just going to repeat what we've done all across this round. In every single V here, we're going to place 3 double crochet in each of these leaves. If you forgot how to do it, no worries, you can just rewatch the parts where I demonstrated it. It's going to be exactly the same. So let me just finish this off. So now I'm on my last tulip. And then I'm gonna chain 1 just like normal. And then you can see there's like a hole here on the first tulip. That's where we're gonna be inserting our hook into. Just insert it like this. We're going to yarn over and do a slip stitch. Yarn over, pull it through, and then also pull it through the loop on our hook. Then we're gonna tighten it. After that, we're going to chain 1 and then fasten off. So yarn over, pull it through the loop on our hook, pull a big loop like this, then we're gonna cut it. Then for this one, I'm just going to weave in. So I'm gonna grab the tail and then thread it through my darning needle. I'm just gonna go through the closest tulip, which is like the last one, and I'm just gonna go through the loops. Make sure that your needle don't stick out. Like this, pull it through. And I'm just gonna go through it multiple times. After that, I'm just gonna cut it.